The artifact hung suspended in the center of the Galactic Council's most secure research facility, its obsidian surface pulsing with veins of crimson energy that seemed to breathe with malevolent intent. For 3 cycles, the galaxy's greatest minds had studied the relic from the extinct Vorthak Empire, their collective genius unable to unlock its secrets, or perhaps unwilling to unleash what lay within. Ambassador Zethkar of the Hegemony adjusted his ceremonial robes as he addressed the assembled delegation. Esteemed colleagues, we stand before the Nullbringer, a weapon capable of unmaking entire star systems. The Vorthak used it to scorch 1,000 worlds before their own hubris consumed them. The chamber's atmosphere recyclers hummed nervously as representatives from dozens of species shifted uncomfortably. The crystalline collective's envoy chimed softly. Our mineral singers have touched its essence. It whispers of endings, of the space between atoms stretched until matter itself screams. Which is precisely why, Zethkar continued, we have summoned the galaxy's most unconventional problem solver. As if on cue, the facility's blast doors hissed open, and in walked Chief Engineer Sarah Chen, her coveralls stained with what looked suspiciously like coffee and coolant fluid. She carried a battered toolkit that had seen more campaigns than most battle cruisers, and wore an expression of mild curiosity that made the assembled dignitaries deeply uncomfortable. So, Sarah said, cracking her knuckles as she approached the artifact, this is the doomsday device everyone's been fussing about? The ethereal communion's representative flickered with agitation. Human, this weapon could unravel the fundamental forces that bind reality itself. Your species' reputation for improvisation concerns us greatly. Sarah grinned, pulling out a handheld scanner that looked like it had been assembled from spare parts. Lady, my people once turned nuclear bombs into power plants and chemical weapons into fertilizer. Trust me, I've seen worse. For the next 6 hours, Sarah worked with the focused intensity that had made her species simultaneously feared and admired across the galaxy. She hummed off-key renditions of ancient Terran folk songs while disassembling reality-rending components, with the casual air of someone fixing a broken toaster. The alien observers watched in horrified fascination as she rerouted energy matrices, reprogrammed quantum resonance chambers, and at one point, actually used percussive maintenance on a device that could theoretically collapse local spacetime. Human Chen, Zethkar ventured nervously as she welded something that shouldn't exist to something that definitely shouldn't exist. Perhaps we should discuss safety protocols. Already handled, Sarah replied without looking up, sparks flying from her work. I've isolated the antimatter core, rerouted the dimensional cascade through a harmonic buffer, and installed about 6 different deadman switches. Oh, and I added cup holders. The HiveMind Collective processed this information and found it wanting. Cup holders. On a superweapon? Not a superweapon anymore, Sarah said cheerfully, making final adjustments to what the Nullbringer had become. More like, well, you'll see. She stepped back and activated her creation. The obsidian surface began to shift, panels sliding and reconfiguring themselves with mechanical precision. The malevolent red glow transformed into a warm, inviting spectrum of colors that cycled through blues and greens and gentle purples. Where once there had been a device of unimaginable destruction, now stood something that looked remarkably like. Is that, the Crystalline Collective's envoy chimed uncertainly, a recreational facility? Sarah nodded proudly. Multi-species entertainment complex. The old matter disintegration beam now generates holographic environments. The reality distortion field creates variable gravity zones for different games, and the dimensional shunt that used to tear holes in spacetime, perfect for multi-level laser tag. She pulled out a small remote and pressed a button. Cheerful music began playing from hidden speakers, and the device's surface lit up with invitation panels in 17 different languages. But, Zethkar sputtered, it was the most feared weapon in galactic history, and now it's the most fun arcade in the galaxy, Sarah replied, tossing him the remote. The quantum processors that calculated planetary devastation patterns now run the most sophisticated game AI you've ever seen. Want to try the racing simulation? I programmed it myself. The ethereal communion's representative flickered with something that might have been amusement. You have transformed an instrument of annihilation into entertainment? Hey, it's not just entertainment, Sarah protested. The pattern recognition systems will help train pilots, The tactical simulations can be used for education, and the multi-dimensional physics modeling will advance scientific research for decades. Plus, the snack bar serves amazing nachos. As if to prove her point, a small dispensary opened in the device's base, releasing the tantalizing aroma of cheese and jalapenos into the chamber's sterile atmosphere. Over the following weeks, word spread throughout the galaxy. The terror that had once been the Nullbringer became the destination of choice for young beings across 1,000 worlds. Diplomatic missions were planned around visits to the Nullbringer experience. Peace treaties were signed over games of multi-dimensional pool. The Galactic Council's monthly reports began featuring headlines like, "Interspecies relations improve 300%. Thanks to cooperative gaming and former superweapon breaks." Entertainment revenue records. Ambassador Zethkar found himself sharing a virtual reality adventure with his former enemies from the Rigelian Consortium, both of them laughing as they fought side by side against holographic space pirates. "How did you know?" he asked Sarah during a break between sessions. "How did you know it would work?" Sarah smiled, watching as dozens of young beings from species that had warred for millennia worked together to solve a puzzle that required both individual skill and perfect cooperation. "Because that's what we humans do," she said. "We take things that are meant to end worlds and we turn them into ways to bring worlds together. It's not about the technology, it's about what you choose to do with it." The Nullbringer's lights continued to pulse, but now they pulsed with joy, laughter, and the sound of beings discovering that their former enemies made pretty decent gaming partners after all. And in the facility's maintenance logs, Chief Engineer Sarah Chen made a simple notation. "Superweapon decommissioned. Friendship machine commissioned. Universe improved.